So part 5 of words that kill your resume and CV. And in this video, I'm also going to introduce you to the idea of SECKs in relation to your resume. So if your resume happens to have some of these words like best of breed, fast learner, punctual, well, let it rest in peace because you just killed your resume. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing the unnecessary information many people put on their resume, starting with why they impact your resume and add no value, and also give you a list of the unnecessary words and share with you some other resume writing tips. And if you're also wondering about some of the action verbs you must have on your resume so you can create an amazing looking resume like this, go check out the video on that. I'm Professor Job Offer, and I've spent the last 10 years with a number of Forbes Global 2000 companies, and I want to share with you my tips and tricks on landing your next job offer so you can get interviews and offers at companies like this and many more. So, starting off with why unnecessary info impacts your resume. Well, let me give you an example, illustrate with an example, like the mailing address. And along, as with many other information, some of this is very outdated, so it is no longer required for you to state that on your resume. And also, much of this information is very irrelevant, and if needed, they may ask you for additional information. Lastly, it's just waste of space. So what do you do with this unnecessary information if you already happen to have them on your resume? You remove and replace them with SECKs, and let me explain what that is. So it is an acronym, and if you happen to find any of these unnecessary information that I'm going to give you in the slides going forward, you want to replace them with SECKs. So what does the SECKs stand for? What do they stand for? The S stands for the skills, okay? And E stands for the experiences, C for competencies, and lastly K for knowledges. And this is what you want to replace them with. And in the near future, I'm going to have a video explaining the secrets of SECKs in resume, so stay tuned for that. Let's do a quick recap because there was a 5-part series, and starting from part 1, the vague and subjective words, the cliches, and now we're on to part 5, the unnecessary words. And because these add no value to your resume, you want to remove and replace them. And if you missed part 4, go check that out because some people put words like perfectionist on there, and I find that can also be updated to make it look better. And now on to the list of unnecessary information, some of the most common ones, starting with the personal information. Yeah, the resume is about you, but it's unnecessary to state some of these things like your age, nationality, religion, and so on. How about the outdated experiences? So if you're applying for your third job in your career, you don't really need to, and you wouldn't want to highlight what you did in high school or any kind of experiences if you that are more than, say, 15 years old. Remember, resume is meant to be a one-page summary of your experiences. So next one, the photos or a headshot. I put a little asterisk here because I explained in this video some common resume CV mistakes. Part 1, there's a little disclaimer because some companies, this company in fact is a multi-billion-dollar company, and they do ask for a photograph. So unless it's stated, do remove any photos from your resume as they often are not ATS compliant. Alright, how about the personal pronouns? Well, we already know your resume is about yourself, and there's no need to state I, me, my on there. And yeah, so get rid of them. It'll save you some space, give you more opportunities to appeal other competencies and your skills. How about the objective statement? Yes, up until maybe about 15 years ago, a lot of advisors recommended it, and it was the norm. However, now it is outdated. Look, if you're applying for a job with your resume, you probably want the job, so there's no need to state your objective to get a job with your company, right? And how about the irrelevant experiences? I can actually speak on this personally. I have been a chef for a couple of years, out of interest, just on weekends, and for about 5 years. But if I'm applying for a job in a corporation, let's say in marketing, then my experience as a chef may not be so relevant. So if you can't find the connection between some of the experiences that you have, including volunteer or work experiences, with the job you're applying for, don't include it. Right, how about salary negotiable or salary history? Yeah, for sure. This also a little outdated, and you want to remove and replace this with the SECKs, something that allows you to appeal your abilities more. And this one, references available upon request, also quite outdated, at least 15 years old. And if they want to check your references, they will request it as they need it. So, and the mailing address, you don't want to put the whole address there, including your PO box, because number one, you don't even know who's reading it, and so can feel a little creepy. And you can just simplify this with the city and the state of where you're residing or where you're applying to. And the irrelevant hobbies and interests, same thing here. You might have some hobbies that you've been engaging in for a long time, but if you can't find the connection, if there's no relationship with the job you're applying for, with any of the skills that are required, then remove them and replace them with a SECKs. Okay, and some multiple contact information. I've seen this a lot. Some people put their home phone number, you put your primary mobile number, and they put an extra number, or put two different email addresses in case one of them don't work. So just double check to make sure, and just keep one with voicemail. That keeps it simple and easy to also reach if they need to. So anyhow, let me bring you into some other resume writing tips. These are some of my early videos, actually. So if you've ever worked in fast food, like in McDonald's or something, and you want to know how to highlight those experiences, I actually go through and show you how to do that line by line on your resume, just like I do in this video with education section, where I show you exactly what to write line by line, so you can create an education section that looks exactly like this. And another one, if you want to know how I create a resume from scratch, going from complete blank page to something like this in 20 minutes, and you want to follow along with that, I have a whole video for it as well. So, and some other resume action verbs, you might see them a lot. I've categorized them for you, and the download link is in the description of over 400 different resume action verbs, and it's completely free, and it always will be. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed that 5-part series and Professor Job Offer, and good luck with your job hunting.